Seonagad, welcome to the 73rd Cherokee National holiday. Yeah, this is the Cherokee Talks, and today I have a couple of ladies that are going to introduce themselves. Wadon.
Oh, Seonagad. My name is Kindra Swafford. I am a watercolorist. I was born here in Tahlequah, Oklahoma. Kind of always say I grew up down 82, Highway 82, because grandparents are in Pegs, and then I went to school in Salina, Oklahoma. Been living in a 35-mile radius my whole life, and I love it. But I'm a watercolorist mostly, and we're going to talk a little bit about like how that has transitioned in like doing murals.
Seonagad, Kela Dawado, Digatli Lostiski, Welling, Oklahoma, Awatassa, Tahlequah, Janelle. My name is Keli Gonzales. I'm an artist from Welling, Oklahoma. I live here in Tahlequah now. I mostly do like drawing, painting. I sculpt a little bit every now and then. I went to school with Kindra, same kind of thing. I've been around here my whole life. Like, went to school at Sequoia, NSU, and I work here now. So I'll probably die here. So that'll be good. That's the goal. And yeah, we're going to talk about some art that we've done. I think both of us, like, our communities are really important to us. So like a lot of the work that we do involves other people in our families. And that's kind of our little theme, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to be awkward. Yeah. So we're artists too. So, but yeah, no, kind of going off that, most of the stuff that kind of I've done is definitely around like local flora and fauna, and then definitely ties in like my community, either representing my best friends and my role models, or some of my family members as well. So.
Okay.
Sorry, we're nervous. But yeah, you'll see in the kind of behind us the step for steps. We wanted to show you guys that like on every step of the way, we're going to talk about like our first murals that we did, and the learning process with that, and like the oopsies, lots of oopsies. But this is my first mural. OETA actually was a part of that. I was selected for Sunny Days, which was an amazing organization. And We the People sponsored my mural for that. But you can see that they had us all together. I don't know why I chose a glitch. I usually do glitches, which is that kind of overexposed, really bright colors. I don't know why I chose that for my first mural, because it took me 3 years to figure that out and how to do it with watercolor, because it's a lot of complementary colors next to each other, so it turns gray or peach or brown. So it was really hard, but I wanted to do it. So I showed up at the evening and was painting until about 3 a.m. Just the outlines that you saw, because I had no idea what I was doing. And then realized, because with watercolor, it's light to dark, and with acrylic, it's dark to light, that I was doing it wrong my first mural. So I was painting all my light colors first, and I realized, oh no, I'm gonna have to paint over every single thing that I did this night. So I was like, pack it up, and took it back home. But the community there was really great. That first one was in OKC, so it's a really cool community down there. But you want to talk about your first mural?
Yeah, my first one, it's the yellow one that's kind of been, there's like 2 pictures with it. It was for my OCO TV thing. They were like, can you do a mural? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then I had to like Google how to paint a mural. And I was like, yeah, I can do this. And so that was maybe like 4 hours, but like my family was there. JP and the kids were there. And I think the syllabary is actually wrong on it. There's one character that's off, but that's, learning process. And that's still, I just learned that it's in kind of like a prominent skate spot in Tulsa. There's like a ledge there that people go to, so that's kind of cool. And I use bright colors as well. Like the wall itself was already yellow, so I just used like rainbow colors. It was Pride Month, and I wanted to kind of represent our LGBTQ relatives, and so I did that piece. I think I can't remember the syllabary for sure, but it's like, we are two-spirited people, and people were sending me pictures like next to it, and that was really cool. That's the cool thing, is people will see it and take pictures and send it to you, and it makes you feel good, like you did something. But that was my first one. And what was your second one that you did?
The second one is the Ozark big-eared bat, okie bug, which they did a Northeastern, it's like book on all the Northeastern kind of, I guess, ecosystems and like animals, and they have workbooks and everything with it, and it's really cool. But I did a catfish originally for Liz Blood, and so I decided she was like, hey, we're gonna be doing this project down river parks in Tulsa, and we want to bring awareness to kind of indigenous, or not indigenous, but native animals. And so I was like, oh, Ozark big-eared bat, that is what I want to do. I was like, and then I had to be like, oh wait, there's children that walk by this. I was like, I have to make it where it's not scary, because like they'll be driving their bicycle by, and I was like, I don't want to cause any unnecessary wrecks at night when someone's like going down that trail and it's just like this bat. And so you can see it. You'll see that it's kind of a pillar, and then you can see that I had to figure out how to wrap the wings around the angles, which I think was the hardest, was getting the straight line to look straight when you're looking at it on a right angle. But it was really cool because like Yadika Fields came up. He was running by when I was painting it. It was really cool because he's the one that really pushed me to get into murals. And yeah, it was really cool when they were driving by and they were like, "Thank you for bringing art to the community." And I'm like, "Yeah." So it was really nice. Yeah, the first one in OKC, you can see kind of both of them. I put Uktana in them. I think that's going to be my goal, is to always hide at least one of them in there somewhere in the mural. Both of the areas are kind of getting, I'll just say, fancier in a way, but like they're still trying to protect the community in that way, and that's why I did that, was like to have a protector there, and that's like bring that power back to the community and everything, and that's why I want to continuously represent that in the pieces themselves. That you can see. He's happy.
Yeah. It's a friendly little bat.
Yeah,
I love
that one started off as a watercolor sketch. You guys probably saw that. But I had no idea what paints to use either. Like, no joke about Googling. But I think that's like a part of it. Like being okay to mess up. That's like a huge part. Like, are you thinking of going back and like tagging that first one to fix the syllabary?
That would be awesome. If I can find it again, I don't even know the address. I'll just have to wander the streets until...
I know where it's at. I mean,
do you?
Let's do it.
We'll do that then. That would be awesome.
Yeah. But
I think the second mural I did is the orange one. I was a producer on a language doc called Dadiwonisi, and they were like, can you paint a mural in Greasy School, which is now an immersion school, which is super cool. But that school, my grandma, Kathy Gonzales, was a cook there for her 40 years. She retired from there, and my dad went to school there, and like his siblings. So that's like just part of our family kind of. And I was able to paint, I believe it is, what is it? I'm going blank because the lights are in my eyes. What JP said. Dadiwonisi. It was like today, tomorrow, and forever, like we'll speak our language. And the syllabary was wrong on that one too when I was painting. So like my friend Sean was there, and like our friends Mike and Jacob were there to record everything. And my grandparents just happened to call, and they were like, I heard you're doing a mural. So like they came out, my grandma and grandpa, my mom's parents. And then my grandpa called his brother Tommy, who lived near the school. He's passed away now, but he came over with his wife. And then my other grandma, who was the cook at the school, came with my aunts. And that's like, there's a picture. So there's my grandma, and they put their handprints on. That's everybody that was there. My grandpa took that picture, and our kids put their handprints on it, and all of the kids, our kids have, we have one in immersion right now, but 2 have graduated from immersion, and they amaze me with like the language that they know. But it means a lot to have that there, knowing that my grandparents were part of it too. They put their handprints on it, and that it's in a language school is really cool. And when they have the language bowl there, they have them take pictures. And my little cousin, Colton, was going to Delonaghy, and he was competing, and he got to take a picture next to it. And so it's kind of like generational, like with the art, and I don't know. It's really cool. And that one meant a lot to me. But
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that we can bring murals here to Tahlequah too, and like so that they'll be generational, that they don't get covered up almost immediately. Like I think that's going to be huge. Is like actually making like a contractor community like effort to maintain the artwork around town so that it's like it thrives with generations, and then getting the community involved, which that's what we're hopefully going to be doing. We're going to be teaming up to potentially do some murals here in town, which is exciting and nerve-wracking, but very exciting.
do you have other murals on this one?
What is it?
Your other murals? Do you have another one?
So my usual go-to is watercolors, and those are pretty much the size of murals. I'm known for really, really large watercolors. That's the one that you see me kind of drawing with the projector is projecting some of my photography that I did. But that's when you're saying like when people send pictures to you, my very first large watercolor, which was you. Oh, yeah. And she has a war club and a ribbon skirt on, which is Kenny glasses. It hangs. The only thing I wanted was when Cherokee Nation bought it was that I wanted it near the women's clinic in the new facility because I wanted that we're still here, and it's really nice because it brings brightness and like just beautiful colors to that facility because I get my cousins and their babies and they're taking photos in front of it, and it's like that always. I mean, they're not always going in for good appointments, but they're like, this really brightened up my day. I really love passing by this before I have to go in for my appointments, and I'm like, that's why that's why I do it. Like that's
yeah. Like, and I like every time I walk by, I'm like, that's me. I'm like, that's my arm. Like, can you tell? Like,
it's like this.
Yeah, like flexing.
Yeah, showing off your guns. But yeah, that's a big hope is like to keep on, I guess, collaboration, and that's huge. Like, I want to, and then potentially do that where we can do classes. That would be cool. Yeah, to be able to businesses be like, hey, I have a wall, and be like, I got you.
Yeah, and like collaboration is important to me. Like there's one mural on here. It's a basket pattern that was in a church. My friend Janelle, her mom and her sister like revitalized a church in Vian that they had gone to when they were kids, and now they run it, and they asked me if I would paint, and I was like, yeah, that's awesome. Like my grandma had passed the year before, so I used that time to kind of like meditate and think about it, and it was crazy to paint on the walls of a church. Like I was like doing something bad, but that was really cool. Like my kids helped, my sister helped. Sometimes people would come just to hang out with me, so I wasn't by myself, and that was awesome. Like my grandpa would come, and like just for someone to sit there and watch you paint is like kind of crazy because that's boring. Like I'm just sitting there like putting paint on the wall, but they're hanging out, and we got to attend a church service after, and like Janelle had woven me a basket that has the same pattern on it, and that was really cool. Let's see. The last mural I did was at Tin Killer School, which is the grade school that I went to. They just happened to be like, we have this wall and you're an artist. So I was like, okay. And I like to use basket patterns because they symbolize a lot of different things. Like at the church, I use like Chief's heart. And with that, like I didn't know about projectors then. So like I made a stencil. I made a large stencil of the heart itself and just like drew all of those on and then painted all of those on, and that worked pretty well. I mean, I was able to eyeball it pretty good, but when I went to Tin Killer, it was so cold when I was able to do it. It's like November, or maybe it was earlier this year, but it was really cold, and I was like, I can't sit out there and trace this on like by myself. And so Kindra had a projector, and I was like, oh, rad. So like she let me use that, and that sped up the process. And I think it's really good that we have these tools to use now too, because like I would just be doing it the old way and like taking more time and like almost wasting time, you know?
And materials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, like the paneling, the watercolors, for the first one that I did, which was 8 foot tall, 4 foot wide. It was pretty large. I paneled it and hand drew every single panel, and it took me like 2 months because it's glitching. So it's like I have to draw the same thing over and over again to make sure all the lines are perfect. And I like the paneling, everything, wasting paper and everything, and I didn't get that projector probably 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. Like, to save time, it's like, it's our designs. And so it's just, we're utilizing a tool, and it's great. It's great.
And that would have been helpful too from whenever I did the mural with the wrong syllabary when everyone was there. Because like I had already put it on there, and my grandma was like, I think that one's wrong. And I was like, it is wrong. Like, and so I was like, me and Sean were going back and forth. I was like, you should have seen that. But but we fixed it. And like, that's like a very humbling experience. I mean, like, I think that you should always be able to take criticism, or like, yes, if you did, like, that was a mistake that I made, and they're speakers. So I was like, yeah, you know this better than me, and please let me know if I've messed anything up. And so like input is really important to me, like for the community to tell us what they think, and if they don't like something. But so far they've liked things.
Yeah, well, even like with the artwork and doing artwork and stuff, like being able to take, I guess, good criticism. I don't like giving bad criticism ever. I'm just like, eh. But like my first mural, or the first mural that I did, I totally almost messed it up completely. After I got it completely done, I was sealing it, but it was in the middle of the day, and it was like almost 100 degrees out. And don't do that. Don't try to put like a coat of sealant on something when it's really, really hot, because it will literally dry it, and then there's bubbles. And so like if you look at my first mural, like it's cloudy. It's actually cloudy now in the middle of it, because I didn't know what I was doing. Now again, it's a learning curve, but like giving yourself grace to keep going when you mess up, because like I spent 5 days painting that, and then I like pretty much ruined that area, which I'll go back and potentially get it all touched up and stuff later. But like giving yourself grace to keep going, even though like you messed up, not being afraid to do another project and like work with people again. Like that's huge. So
I don't know what to do.
We're like talking really fast. I'm like, how much? It's 18 minutes.
Tattoos now?
Oh yeah, tattoos. Yeah, we got plenty. Yeah. Yeah. I'm like trying to think, because like most of my stuff, like I guess I can talk about with the mural that I did with the mask. It's actually a mask I made with, I do cosplays, and with cosplays, there's a lot of material. I hate wasting material. So that mask was a sustainable effort. I used everything that was left over. I'd keep all my scraps. And so that's even has artwork coming out of its mouth. So it's pieces that weren't like selling and everything. I shredded them up and actually used them and put them in the mouth of the piece. The eyes glow, the fish that hangs out of its mouth glows. But I used that kind of like storytelling. So I've been utilizing props that I make, and then within my own photography, and then I paint those also. But yeah, you can kind of see it on there, the actual pieces, which there's like an Oopton tail that goes on there. In my OCO TV episode, every three-ish years, I have an art burning, and anyone can bring stuff. It could be anything from your whole life that you just want to release back into the universe kind of thing. And so because I work really fast, and so it's really hard for me to keep things around because it makes me feel like I'm like suffocating a little bit. So I'm like, let it go. So I'll just burn them, which no one likes. And so it's being able to cut those things. I thought I was going to be more afraid, but that has allowed me to like reprocess and like repurpose things. So, which is still scary.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm like, I don't know.
What about your inspiration? Where do you guys get inspiration?
Mine's a lot of animals. It used to pre-pandemic, I was painting a lot of portraits with like my friends and people in the community. And then the pandemic happened, and like I couldn't be around my friends anymore. So it was scary. That was like a scary transition. And art changed. Like I had like a art block for like 8 months. It was the longest I've never did anything. And I started just doing just shapes, and then it turned into symbols, and then like it was kind of just, it opened up a new path for me. Then I started painting more animals, and animals were represented more in there because I didn't have access to like my people and stuff. So my creations have kind of like, I guess, moved with time, I guess. So it's like changed. Currently has been more animals because I've been doing a lot of masks. I also do jewelry. I made us both of these. So I started learning under Demas glass, and it's pretty cool. But it kind of just, I guess, inspiration changes with the time, I guess.
Yeah, same. Like, I think we've both like really evolved with like what we've done. A lot of my stuff is just things that in our culture that I'm like, we could shine a light on that, or like women are really important to me. The language, when I can use it, and if I make sure I use it correctly, because sometimes there's a lot to the language that people don't consider, like tenses and things like that. It's more complicated than, what people think, and I try to use the correct tense if I'm going to, and I check with the speaker, like, does this make sense? And I'm like, well, what if I said it like this? Like, so I'm trying to learn as I utilize the language too. Also lately I've kind of been going back to just line drawing. I love lines. Like, I have this obsession to make them like perfect. And so I'm probably going to be doing a lot like bigger drawings, but mostly lines. I'm not really sure, but yeah, like life is an inspiration. Think different things that happen, or current events, things like that. Yeah, I don't know what I've done recently, so I can't.
We've done a lot of line stuff. Like, that's why I like doing like emphasis on like shell carver and like being able to etch and like lines, perfect lines, symmetry, trying to do that and like represent that like in a way that is like appealing, because we want to, mine is like, I can see the Southeastern symbols and bring them into a more modern, like put a spin on it, my own spin on it, to represent me, I guess. And so like my uktana that you see kind of sprinkled all in my pieces was line work, and you should have seen some of the first drawings that I did of that. They looked gooberish because he had really big teeth, and I was like, that's not okay. But like I think yeah, like bringing it back to basics and like starting from just line work and working yourself back into adding color and then adding like dimension, and or just translating it into a different type of medium within itself. Like, I feel like that's huge. So yeah, I agree with you.
What do you guys hope that that your art brings to the world? What do you want people to? What message do you want to give when they see your art?
When I use language in mine, I don't like to give translations a lot of the time because I want people to like struggle with it. Like, not that I'm like, you don't know what this says, but like they can figure it out. Like, talk to somebody, because speaking with someone and like having a connection with someone who speaks the language is really important. And so I hope it just makes people curious, even about culture. Like I like to do like kind of pop art with culture and making it like cool, like because like it is really cool. It's just like for kids or certain demographics, they need it to be like bright colors or something that related to something that they understand or that they think is cool. So it's kind of like I want to draw people in to learn more about themselves or more about their own culture, even if they're not Cherokee. Because we both use a lot of Southeastern symbols, and I love that we share those with other tribes. And so, like, if my art doesn't have syllabary in it, a lot of the time, like, I have Choctaw friends and, you know, like Creek friends and who, like, still relate to my work because we have, like, a shared background in, like, artistic history in a way. And so connection is really important. So really connecting to other people and to other Cherokee people, that's like my main goal. And I think that I've done that kind of, and that it makes me happy. So.
Yeah, you stole mine. Connection. Yeah, just like being able to connect to a piece or connect to a people. Like, I think that's huge. When I did the mural in OKC and the Uktana was up, it was during a festival, and it was a Spanish-speaking like community that's a part of, and they were like, that looks like the feathered serpent, and I was like, there are so many cool studies of like how we have different tribes, different cultures, different stories, but they like overlap, and being able to connect that to the community just by like a shared like symbol is like huge. Bright colors is also I'm just kind of known for my bright colors because I want to be able to draw people in and have them inspired, because like I'm kind of like Bob Ross, like anyone can paint. You gotta, like, anyone can paint, and like you just gotta practice and not, again, give yourself grace and not be afraid to fail, but like, yeah, connect with people that are around you. And like if you guys have questions ever about art, like we're willing, like we'll help you. Yeah. We'll help you. We'll connect you to people that can help you. Like I think that's the whole thing, like the connection.
Well, we appreciate you not having hair like Bob Ross. Anyone else have a question? Here we go.
I could project if you want. I'm a fine arts teacher in elementary school, and also incorporating theater arts into it as well. And I'm really interested in some of the elements that you're talking about for our Native American month, November. And so I wondered, would you be averse to me just taking some of your design elements and making like kids making stencils from it or something like that as a celebration, or maybe put into a mask? Could you point me to some easy sort of songs for them to learn using elements from your murals to perform in a mask, maybe, type thing?
That'd be really cool.
That would be really cool. I know there's, because they like the record that's, I mean, they could learn language from actual Cherokee songs and stuff, but it just depends, like, if you're wanting to keep it more general, I guess, because, well, it's like, because like we're Southeastern, and so like if you're wanting it to be just indigenous, then maybe culturally speaking, we may not be able. But I have coloring sheets and like, yeah. Oh no, I donate. No, I have little comics. I donate. No, yeah, if yeah, that's what I was like. I do comics too, so and that's my friend Desba. They're actually going to be using some of my comics and using Dene and rewriting the Cherokee and the Silvery and using it for their classrooms as well. So like, if you're wanting that, I can definitely help you out too. Yeah.
Could you talk a little bit more about some of your work for and about women in your art?
Yeah. I kind of wish I had put in more portraits, because before this I did a lot of portraits, because when I started learning more about Cherokee art and seeing a lot of Cherokee art, there's all these like really cool images of like male warriors, and they look so cool. And like even like that George Lowry portrait, that's like really, he just looks cool. It's his jewelry and his septum and everything. And I was like, we don't have any women like that. Like, and to me, it's because they were doing everything, so they didn't have time. They didn't have time to sit down for a portrait. But I drew one, and a lot of times they're like nude, or I like to celebrate women's bodies as well. So like I would draw or paint women who, there was one, it was like a feather cape, and I like to draw pregnant women, like people who are mothers and doing things. I did a portrait of Selu, in a style of like how like they usually paint Mary with like a halo around her head, because I wanted to put her on that level of, you know, reverence, I guess. And so I used a lot of purples and little nods to other cultural things. There's like corn behind her. And then I haven't drawn this in a while, but I used to really like to draw women with weapons. Yes. Like, you know, it's like we use stuff too, you know what I mean? Like, so like women with war clubs, and like maybe there's blood on it, maybe there's not.
I own a piece.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She has one of the like first like paintings I did that was like that.
And it does have blood. It's awesome.
But yeah, so like, because I think also when I learned more about my culture and like where women are in like at Gautio or whatever, like we have a lot of power. And I didn't feel like I did before then. And when I started to learn more about myself and Cherokee women in general, I was like, felt really empowered, and I wanted other people to feel that way. So hopefully when they see those images, they think about, you know, the strong women in their lives, or strong people in their lives that have like inspired them to keep going and keep doing. And yeah.
Anyone else have a question?
Hi. I can kind of intuit the answer from what you have talked about so far, but I'd love to hear in your words, like, why public art? Like, what's the importance of having the images on the side of a building or in these public places? What's the draw of public art and murals for you?
I think the biggest thing is like, which I think the conversation has been kind of going on, is like and I never can remember the word, but it's when they go in and update a part of town.
Gentrification.
Gentrification. Yeah, like it's like the last line of attack usually for that. Like you see tags going up and stuff when gentrification is starting to happen, and like it's the murals that are like, I don't know, kind of that bringing people into the area. Like that's one of the things. It's like, it's a guiding light. It's like the hope that is there, that it's part of the community. Like, we love seeing tags around town. Not condoning that, allegedly. But yeah, it's just like, it's showing that the people still matter. No matter even if you cut it out, tear the building down, like there's memories that are still there, I guess. It's like our line of defense.
Yeah, and like growing up in Tahlequah, like I never saw anything cultural, like until we got that Yautica mural, and then it went away.
Yeah.
And then now there's like this really cool Uktan that's by the skate park that's like on this wall. Like that's really cool. And like just seeing like there's Cherokee people here, and we should have more Cherokee art like on the walls, and when we walk around town, like seeing ourselves, but also like representing ourselves, letting our kids see that kind of stuff. And also like the people who aren't Native or aren't Cherokee might be, you know, they'll have a little more exposure to the culture, and that's not a bad thing, you know, a little more understanding, never hurt anybody. And murals are really cool. Like, and I'm glad Cherokee Nation has kind of been considering those things when they do buildings. There was a Cecil Dick mural in Oaks that they actually saved from. It wasn't a community building, and they cut it out of the wall, and it hangs in the community building in Kenwood now. And like that's really cool to see. Like like, maybe they'll cut mine out of the building if they, you know what I mean? But that's really neat. Like, that's like history, like, because that building was so run down and they had it restored and everything, and it's a beautiful piece. And Cecil Dick's work is like really influential. And like, if that can be like, that's in a public space now where kids can go and see it, and that's really awesome to me. Like, because I didn't see a lot of his work until I was older, and I think that would have been like, it's kind of cartoony. Like, I feel like people don't take my style seriously sometimes because it's more graphic, but I'm like, Cecil Dick was doing like, you know, some cartoony type stuff, and they looked like they had like bell-bottom pants on, and it was cool. So yeah, that's...
Yeah, that just like spawned a memory, like being in Salina, and like there's an old gym, and my art teacher did wildcat like murals on the walls and stuff at both of the gyms, in the old rock gym and in the new gym. And like, I remember when they got taken down, and I was so sad, because like growing up, like that was amazing. Like that, it inspired me. Like, so having that, and I think throughout generations, again, going back, like wanting to have them there for generations. So.
Hi. I was just wondering, what are some ways that people could see or engage with artwork that the two of you have done around here, like either now or coming up?
Well, we plan to do a mural downtown.
Yeah, in the fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll be... Oh, I'm usually pretty good at being on social media, so I'll usually post it and be like, hey, we're going to be set up. So I'll be here in Tahlequah probably, hopefully, after October. I got Cherokee Art Market, so I'll be in Scotty, but yeah.
Do you have anything in the shows right now?
No.
I don't either.
I took a break.
Taking a break from shows right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, mostly social media. I don't think I have any shows locally coming up. Oh, I don't know if I can say, but my work's supposed to be in the pathway
Allegedly.
later this year. Allegedly. That's what whispers reach my ears, so I don't know for sure. But
Someone from the columns is here.
really,
Well, here,
Like 45 questions is what I like to do. For like younger Cherokee kids who want to be artists, what advice do you have for them? Or for older Cherokee people who want to be artists, what advice do you have for all of us?
You do not have to buy the most expensive stuff. You can make art with anything. Anything. And like we were saying, start off with line work. Like, that's markers. Posca, I love Posca right now. Got $25. Go Walmart, get you a box of Posca markers. They're bright acrylic markers. Just use it with a Sharpie, a black Sharpie, and just go to town. Like, I do that on watercolor paper, and it turns out like chalky, so it looks like pastel. But like, use what you have. Like, there's nothing wrong with using what you have. You don't have to. Do not compare yourself to others. Do not compare yourself to others. And ask questions. That's the biggest thing. Reach out. Don't be afraid to reach out either.
yeah, and like always make what you like.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you like it, even if someone else is like, that's weird, like there's gonna be
Good.
someone else who like, like there's like, I've had a lot of people that don't relate to a lot of things that I draw, but I do have the every now and then person who knows exactly what I'm talking about, and that's it, you know, like that's what I do it for, is like, it's like, I don't care if everyone likes it, I like it, and like my friends like it, and that's good enough for me. And yeah, and like if it means something to you, put it in there, like whatever's important to you, because that comes through. I think people can tell when you really care about a subject, or like if you have a message, like, because not everything, you know, has to have a message, but if you got something to say, like, you can put it in anything. And like, I think expressing those things is really important to just get it out. And whether that's like good feelings or bad feelings, you know, it's like, just get it out, express it, put it somewhere, because other people can relate to it. And that could be something that really helps someone else, even if they're not an artist. You know, there's like, just seeing that piece could be inspiring to them in some way.
Not a lot of people like my glitching, so I get that. They're like, "Oh man, it hurts my eyes." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's not for everyone." And it's the glitching itself was like to show that there's more there than just the obvious, and like so I didn't have to like push it too hard. It was something that I like to do. I wanted to push myself, and that's what that came out of as. And I failed a lot doing that. But yeah, like I agree with you.
What types of media do you guys use?
Ooh. Pencil. Ticonderoga #2. Yeah. Like pencil and ink. I use a lot of acrylic, mostly acrylic because it dries faster.
Yeah, I have everything from folk art acrylic, the stuff that you buy, like because I do cosplays, so I do like the cheap bottled acrylic, all the way to golden paints. And so it's like I have everything in between. Like that's what I was saying. You can create with anything. When it comes to water, that's my acrylic stuff. My watercolors, I fell in love with Winsor & Newton as my watercolor. And the brushes, I'm really bad with brushes, so I will never buy an expensive brush ever. Because I have ADHD, so I'll just leave it in the water and I'm like, oh no, it's exploded. And so I don't know if you guys have ever gone to that point with a brush, but microns, I love micron pens. That's what I do most of my line work with. I don't know, like.
What about like screen printing? Do you do screen printing?
I do screen print. Yeah, we're a jack of all trades.
What do you need?
Yeah. We could do it.
Yeah.
We can do it, or we can find out and find someone that could do it.
And when are you guys going to work on a collaborative?
The murals. I don't know why we've never done like a smaller collab piece. We get to go big or go home, right? Yeah. So I guess we're just waiting for that mural to drop. But I'm hoping that we are going to continuously do this until we're like 80.
Yeah.
And so you guys can have those same type of photos like with us like next to each other again when we're 80.
With our walkers.
With our walkers, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I had to have a cane.
You guys could be like a night hawk taggers or something and just go paint stuff at night. Sorry. Yeah, I said that online, didn't I? Yeah. My name is JP Johnson. Yeah.
He's innocent.
You talked. He gave me the mic back, so I'm gonna ask more questions. But you talked a little bit about how your process has to change when you're doing big, like when you're doing on the mural, or your materials when you're painting on a wall. So I'd love to hear more about that. Like, how does your process have to change when it goes from like doing something on paper to something that's on a wall?
Your amount of details that you place in an area changes drastically. Something that you're blocking colors more than you are putting the minute details in there. Like with watercolor, I have to like be very meticulous on where I'm dropping things. On a mural, I can block it in one whole color and then just add, just to get the effect, literally a swipe of color and blend it. And it's the same thing. But trying to change that mindset of having to be like detail, and being like blocking, that was probably the biggest jump to doing murals, because I had to teach myself and keep telling myself, no, you're overworking it now. Move on, go to a different spot. Like literally go over there. And so, what about you?
I don't know. I just like, it's really intimidating because it's so much big. And like whenever I draw, normally I am like right on it. So it is different, like, but I just go for it. I'm just like, all right, here we go. It's just like thinking of it as a bigger piece of paper, and I just have like a huge crayon or something.
I'm gonna paint that. Just have you with a huge crayon.
That would be really cool. But yeah, like with the one I did in Viand, having that stencil was really helpful, because there was no way I was going to be able to freehand all of that stuff. So sometimes you just have more tools than you thought, or like little things to like help you. I bought a level, like a laser level. That was really cool. Like I felt really high tech. Like
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's like magnetized. You can stick it on stuff, but that helped me level out like where I was putting my designs and making sure they all lined up like across the middle. But yeah, just more tools.
Yeah, no, definitely on the more tools. Like I have health issues, so I can't get too hot. And so that was the one thing that I had to be like, I'm going to be outside in 90 plus degree weather. What am I going to do? So like I had a pop-up tent when I did shows when I was like was in college, and did pop-up shows around Tulsa and stuff. So I had a tent from those days, and I was like, okay, got the tent. And then I bought like a little a battery pack from like Harbor Freight, but like bought it, and I got a little solar fan as well. So like I was able to like be outside longer than I could have without those things. But being okay to rely on tools, that's like the biggest thing. Like if you're doing your art, right, and you're like, it is your art, it's not someone else's art, and you're using that projector, like it's just a tool.
Yeah. Like you already, I used to feel bad about using digital or doing digital art, but it made things so much faster. And even in the pandemic, like we couldn't be with each other, but I was able to do fundraisers. Like I could draw a design and then put that on a t-shirt and people could buy it. And I didn't have to, we didn't have to be in person. They could just be online and do that. So it made the art more accessible and just a lot easier. I still prefer paper, but the digital stuff just speeds things up. I don't use AI though.
No AI, absolutely not. Hisses. I just started doing digital. Like I've done Photoshop. Like I even took classes back in college at NSU, but I phased out of it. Like I don't know. I was like, you can't use them together because it's fine art. And I'm like, yes, you can. So don't be afraid to combine those mediums either, because like my glitching, I do the photography, I take it into Photoshop, I'm overexposing it, spending hours, 8-9 hours worth of time blending and getting them all how I want them to look. And then previously was hand drawing it, which was ouchy, but projecting it later. So, but don't be afraid to do that, but no AI.
By the way, there's a VR goggle.
Oh yeah, I've seen
software
that. Yeah.
Where you can use as a projector,
Yeah.
right? Where you can draw
I
your
would
canvas.
totally throw up. But yes, I've seen that. Yeah.
So, with the projector, you have to kind of like draw because you're in your own.
Yeah.
You're in your own way, right? So
If I could, I would, but
Okay.
I can't even look at it like a roller coaster without being like, oh, no. No.
here's another question.
Thank you for breaking the seal on double dipping. I just was wondering, are there any programs or people or spaces that y'all would want to call out as important to you as you were coming up as artists and sort of finding your legs? Anything you want to shout out?
SIA. Yeah, Southeastern Indian Artists Association. SIA is where I met my best friend, Kristen Gentry. It connected everyone during the pandemic. We kept it kind of going. Now they're online, so you actually can Zoom in and connect with Indigenous artists. They're huge on connecting you to programs, scholarships, like everything. In my OCO TV episode, I wanted to represent and have SIA in my episode as well. But yeah, I think SIA would be one of them.
Yeah. I was just going to shout out Roy Boney because he was like, peer pressured me to join SIA. And I was like, okay, yeah. And that was a really, I met a lot of cool people. And sometimes when our in-person meetings, we would do critiques, which was really helpful. Like Bobby Martin, who's a Creek artist, I love him. And Tony Tiger. It was just cool to get their input. It's something feels wrong and you don't know why. And so you're show it to them and they're like, well, maybe if you did this, and you're like, oh yeah, exactly. So just visiting with other artists and those people, that was really helpful.
That's where we actually did our print actions. Yeah, we would do all different types of print actions to raise funds and do fundraiser stuff. But yeah, I remember my first SIA meeting and like knowing everyone and like being so new. I was like sweating the whole time because I was like, these are amazing artists. And they were all cool, super chill. And they help you. Like, yeah, Roy Boney, Dr. Condessa Dehe was literally like, yeah, be treasurer or be vice president. And I'm like, are you sure? Like they want you to, like they push you to do better. Like they push you. So it's really cool.
Thank you guys. I was wondering if you had anything to share about how you keep space for your creativity without letting, the dailiness of life infringe upon that.
We have a lot of anxiety up here. So yeah, but that's part of it. Like, I have a full-time job as well. So it's like creating that space is literally scheduling. Even if it's just putting it on the calendar and being like studio day and like only going out there and staring at a wall, that's a part of it. Yeah. Like don't be afraid to be like to show up but not doing anything, because like you have to feed your soul, you have to rest. So if like life is crazy, because again it is like art therapy. That's how I started as a kid. Like I used it as an outlet, and it just became and blossomed into something amazing and connected me to amazing people. So like show up for yourself, continue showing up, and the muse will come later. Like, so just keep doing it.
Yeah, like I have to, whenever I feel myself getting really anxious or stressed, I'm like, what is going on? And it's because I haven't drawn in a while. Like that just kind of like centers me, like, because I can think about everything that I've been thinking about while I'm doing that, but it's almost like untangling a ball of string, and it's like, okay, it's not as big of a deal because I'm like trying to make this perfect line. And it's like, well, you did that. You can do other things. Like, and like, I get down on myself sometimes, but then I'm like, I drew that. That's kind of cool. And it kind of like peps me up a little bit. But it is like, it's almost like meditation too. Like you're somewhere else and you're focused on something else. But, yeah, I don't know if I answered the question, but. Okay.
Yeah, I turn into a menace when I don't draw for a very long time. When that 8 months, I was just like, I don't know what to do with myself anymore. But yeah, I just continuously showed up. I literally bought a couch and sat on that couch, and I didn't do anything. I literally was like, you're going to sit there until you want to start painting. And it was shapes. I literally started just randomly drawing lines on a paper. Some of them look like avocados. And I was like, that's cool. And then it finally, and then I progressively started doing other stuff, but like not like giving yourself grace is huge, especially in the climate right now.
Yeah, David Lynch would say that you need like 4 hours of just sitting by a canvas and thinking on your own before something would come, and that is so true. Like of doing nothing.
100%.
Like part of it is just thinking.
I had to start carrying around a notebook because most of my time was literally staring into the abyss. And then I was like, I would get an idea outside of that time frame, and I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? And so I literally started carrying a notebook, and I would sketch my ideas out. Even if they did not make any sense at the time, I was able to create that piece later. Like these pieces and stuff. I had ideas, or not being able to have the skills yet. Being able to be like, I want to do this in the future. Setting a goal for yourself and writing it down. Be like, I can't do that now, but I can definitely see myself doing that in the future. So I have stuff in my sketchbook that was 5 years old that I'm now coming into fruition. So
yeah, travel sketchbooks, little sketchbooks are a good idea. So
There's another question.
Hey, buddies.
hi, buddy.
So I actually had a quick question that it's been something that's been on my mind, especially recently. So as you guys know, I just started working here at the language department, doing illustrations, things like that. And I also just started my master's, which is more art, but more digital. And then also in my pastime, I like to do art. But one thing that I'm struggling with is that I'm having a hard time separating work and personal time. And I'm finding myself, when I'm at work drawing, I'm like, oh, I'm inspired. But then I get home, I'm like, I'm tired. So how have you both found a way to almost separate like work art from personal art and giving yourself that time and space to work on your own art without feeling guilty or just tired, because like there's so many things that I want to do, and you guys are some big inspirations for me, and I'm like, oh, I want to do that too, but then I just get tired and feel uninspired. But yeah, I'm just curious what you guys think.
I think the biggest thing is giving yourself grace. Like, you're just starting off these new journeys and such. Like, you give yourself grace, give yourself time. Like, you're like Kelly's like, put it on, like, make sure you're squaring out time just for that moment. Like, if you're getting too busy, making sure that you're showing up for yourself as well. And that will slowly, as again, the muse will come later, but definitely give yourself grace right now when things are overlapping and becoming overwhelming, and you're not being able to find inspiration, or like, don't be hard on yourself, buddy.
Yeah, don't rush, because like I know how that feels. Like I'm like, I could do this right now and I need to do this right now, but it's not something like, because work stuff takes priority, you know. It's like that's kind of a more important thing, but it's also kind of like it comes in waves at times, where it's like it's okay to like not do anything for a little bit and maybe just focus on the work stuff, and then take care of yourself in the evenings. But then because like the work stuff is very inspiring, like I know what you mean. So it's like I just put that in a note, and like when I do have time for myself, I'm like, then I get excited, then I'm not tired. You know what I mean? Like when you really are like, I get to work on that today. Like that's like an extra thing. But yeah, just give, like she said, like give yourself grace, and it takes a little while, because it took me a little while, but you'll figure it out. And if you ever want to visit about it, you know where I am.
Yeah, we can all have craft nights.
Yeah.
At my studio.
Great. We just have a few minutes left. Anything in the works for you guys?
Just a large watercolor for me. So I'll be doing that. That one's almost 8 foot again. I think I'm going to have to make it smaller, but I don't want to. But yeah, I think that's the only thing I got going.
Yeah, I have a show in Tennessee later this year. UT Knoxville. I'll be in a show with Jake Eli Swimmer and Michelle Long, who are Eastern Band artists. But yeah, and I'll be painting a mural in Kenwood in the new Clemap building.
I'm so pumped for that.
So in the next month, that'll be happening.
I guess Cherokee Art Market too, and SCOSTICon if I get in. I might be doing, if I can get it all done, I might be dressing up as a kaiju. So kind of mixing my Uktena and Godzilla. So it'll be a full body suit. It'll be the biggest thing. I'm gonna have to hide it in my attic. I got kaijus in the attic.
Well, Keli and Kindra, a big wado from everyone.
Wado.